My name is Adam Mockler. I talk politics on YouTube every single day, and I am a liberal college dropout. Today, I'm surrounded by 20 conservative college students. My first claim is, Trump is causing a rise of fascism in our generation.
Yeah, but they like fascism, so.
Damn.
Hey, Adam, I'm Scotty.
Nice to meet you, Scotty.
Hey, would you mind unpacking a little bit more what you mean by rise?
The rise of fascism, yeah. Over the past decade, we've seen a normalization of more fascist, anti-democratic ideologies. Just to explain, Trump's claim to fame, entering U.S. politics, he was famous before this, but he entered U.S. politics by saying Obama wasn't born in America. He convinced a large swath of the country that Obama was not born in America. 4 years later, he was chanting "lock her up" at a political rally, and no presidential candidate had done that before. 4 years after that, he had couped the government, or at least attempted to coup the government. And now,
we are in a new era of libs, okay? I call them the example libs, okay? Don't just speak about concept or theory, just give examples, because man, with Trump, you can just fucking run it the fuck down. It is really hard to argue against.
In the city of Chicago, he's posted AI memes of Chicago being invaded. He sent the military into Chicago. So over the past, like I say, decade and a half, we've seen a normalization of fascism in America. And I think it's manifesting in our generation in unique ways. We can talk about the Politico story, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say let's talk a little bit more about what fascism actually is. Because I think fascism
now
is
let's
a
move.
loaded term.
What's your definition?
And before I get there, what I would say, when you attach fascism to Trump's name, that is a slap in the face to all the Jews who were exterminated under fascist law.
Fascism doesn't just have to do with Jews. Donald Trump is absolutely...
it was Hitler. When you think of fascism, you think of two people. You think of Hitler and you think of Mussolini, who killed millions and millions of people. Trump is not that.
What's your definition of fascism?
I would say fascism is one person or one party who is silencing and who is demeaning and who is, I guess you would say, opposing and silencing any other opposition.
It's kind of right.
I know it's more nuanced to that.
I'd say a better definition is a far-right authoritarian ideology with one leader at the top with a cult of personality who forcibly suppresses opposition, as you said, but at the same time, he erodes democratic norms and there's hyper-militarization involved, military in the streets. Do you disagree with any of that?
I agree with you that Trump did send in the National Guard
which
to Chicago.
Which one of those descriptions does not describe Trump? All those terms.
I would say that Trump... I guess you say, what are his motives behind doing this?
No.
You're
You were pressing me on the definition of fascism.
Okay.
There's always like another layer of conversation to retreat to for Trumples, right? So like, let's say that we define a rapist as a person who raped somebody. And it's like, okay, well, why would we say that this person's a rapist? Well, here's a video of them raping someone. It's like, whoa, okay, hold on. Well, let's define like rape. What do we mean by rape? Well, when you forcibly insert something into somebody without their consent. Like, okay, wait. When you say forcibly, did he punch them? Like, when we say force, well, the person didn't want... Okay, so he didn't really force, right? Like, he didn't, like, knock them out, right? Well, there was, like, he held them down. It's like, okay, but, like, when you normally have sex, aren't your hands on the person and you kind of keep them still a little bit, right? It's like, not really. It's like, oh, wait. When you say consent, so, like, all consent isn't, like, you say the word yes every single... And it's like, every single argument becomes the most infinite, nihilistic obfuscation. Is like the most epistemically nihilistic position possible, where no word means anything, and you can debate on every like topic because you just have to back up and go to some other part of the... It's so fucking annoying, and it's so unserious. It's such a deeply unserious way to approach any of the conversations. Like, bro,
I gave you a few qualities. Which of those qualities does not describe Trump?
Say those qualities one more time.
It is a far-right authoritarian ideology with one leader at the top who is a cult of personality. He forcibly suppresses opposition. They like hyper-militarization.
Okay, so forcibly, I disagree with forcibly doing that. Give me an example right now about forcibly.
A really good example is lately Jimmy Kimmel was taken off air by the FCC because the FCC...
I knew we were going to go here with Jimmy Kimmel.
I knew we were going to there. But do you have proof that Donald Trump told the FCC commissioner to restrict those... Okay, well, just because he said it doesn't mean that he necessarily... That Trump did it, like... sorry,
No.
That's not...
Did you hear... You know who the FCC commissioner is?
Yes, okay. No, I actually don't know exactly who it is, but I know what
it is. Brendan Carr. So if you don't know who it is, and you might not know that Brendan Carr said in an interview, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. It was essentially a mobster threat. Other than that, Donald Trump has attacked law firms. He has attacked universities. Jimmy Kimmel might not be the best example because he's a late night show host, but it is a glaring example.
I get it.
Yeah.
Right, I would disagree with you. And what do you mean by like forcibly, right? Because
I pre-watched. To be fair, I was late today because I pre-watched. I'm sorry. I did pre-watch this whole thing. I did. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry for doing that today, but what, Bruh.
Fascism to Trump, right? When we attach fascism, we attach that to Hitler and Mussolini. Jimmy Kimmel, he didn't have anything direct to do with taking Jimmy Kimmel off of air. The reason why Jimmy Kimmel got taken off of air is because nobody liked Jimmy Kimmel. I've maybe
let's talk about the word forcibly.
Jimmy Kimmel. He's not that funny.
Let's talk about the word forcibly then. Forcibly doesn't mean through violence. It could be using the state, using the government or your position of power to try to suppress the opposition. Donald Trump has spent his entire political career acting like the Democratic Party shouldn't exist. You know Act Blue, the fundraising
Biden and Obama have done the same things. What are you talking about? It's not about forcibly.
Let me ask you,
what has Trump done?
Do the IRS
forcibly remove the opposition.
Okay.
He's spoken against the press. Yes,
Can I ask you a
every
question?
president has done that of all time. They've spoken against the opposition press. suppressed. But that doesn't mean he forcibly removed somebody from that position.
Last month, Donald Trump sent out a Truth Social post towards Pam Bondi. Do you know what I'm
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
He said, Pam, I want you to indict these 3 people and move fast.
True.
What happened
Good
is Eric
examples.
Siebert, the federal prosecutor from the Eastern District of Virginia, then was forced to resign, forcibly resign, not through violence, but through pressure. Then you see 2 of the 3 people that Donald Trump named indicted for random stuff. You have Letitia James, and then you have James Comey, who got indicted. We also just saw John Bolton indicted. Can I ask you, is indicting your political opponents for speaking up against you?
They did the exact same.
Wait, am I recorded? Or did he? Was Bolton indicted? Or did I know this? His house was raided. Yeah, but was there an indictment released for him? Oh, they did. Wait, were all 3? He was the first one. Oh, maybe I just forgot then. Oh, so then all 3 of those people were indicted. Letitia James for the mortgage stuff, Bolton for, I don't remember what his indictment was for, and then and then Comey. So all 3 of them were. Nice. What a reliable authoritarian dictator.
Things to Trump. The left party, the Democratic Party, has done the same thing. They tried to no.
When they went after Trump or the IRS slot meme.
See, now we're getting into those very things where they use political power to go after Trump
Biden
because they were afraid of him. They were afraid of what he was going to do to America.
Did Biden ever
right?
tweet at his attorney general and say, "Hey, Merrick Garland,
Good
can you
example.
indict
Because Biden wasn't even in charge of the presidency.
Okay, so Biden
he was not even
wasn't
making those
recognized.
things.
Pause. Sorry, you've been eliminated by the majority.
That
That was great. I love that. It was great to meet you, Scotty.
Deep state.
Sadie, nice to meet you, madam.
So I want to touch on your forcible suppression of the opposition as defining fascism. So in my understanding, I think that the leftist party is assassinating conservatives. So we're talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination. We're writing engraving on the bullets, catch fascist. I think that shows
Can you
form of
define
fascism
leftist?
over here.
Can you define what you mean by leftist party?
Turbo pump disassembled in game gives you 3 springs. Disassembled out of game gives you a mechanical component and 3. Oh, what? What?
Fascism. So in my understanding, I think that the leftist party is assassinating conservatives. So we're talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination. We're writing engraving on the bullets, catch fascist. I think that shows
Can you
form of
define
fascism
leftist?
over here.
Can you define what you mean by leftist party? Because I think that conservatives are very good at individual responsibility, and when you're placing the blame on an entire party because one 22-year-old dude killed somebody, which is obviously tragic.
White, Mormon, 22, raised Christian, MAGA family. By the way, if any of these one things had gone in the other direction, they would call him a leftist. And the only thing they have are all of the pop media references that he posted on his stupid fucking bullets. He didn't even shoot him with a fascist bullet, by the way. Is this stupid fucking quote from this dumb fucking video game? Okay, because Helldivers is for losers. All right.
Then what do you mean by leftist party?
Yeah, so we have Kamala Harris calling Trump supporters fascist, Biden calling Trump supporters fascist. When you have these big leaders calling individuals fascist, and then that is getting tagged on to conservatives as a whole.
By the way, when you call somebody a fascist, that counts as being basically assassinating them. But when you say this person should be tried and executed, that's just saying you want to go through the legal process. Good one.
So I think that the leftist party is actually very good about saying one thing about one person, and then this is getting spread to everyone. So back to what I'm saying about Charlie Kirk. So when Charlie Kirk got assassinated saying catch fascist, I think that's a very good example of fascism. And then you want to talk about the
Can I ask you, is your position that people in power should not be calling the opposition party fascists or Gestapo or Hitler? Donald Trump.
Oh, you saw Kai nodding his head back there. Hit him up with the Trump said it. Hit him up.
In power should not be calling the opposition party fascists or Gestapo or Hitler. Donald Trump called Kamala Harris and Joe Biden a fascist a dozen times throughout the campaign trail. He called them Gestapo, and only one politician has called Donald Trump Hitler, and it's J.D. Vance, his vice president.
And which party has that stuck to? That stuck to conservatives.
Maybe because they act more like that than the Democrats do.
Fascism has stuck to conservatives consistently. You have all this violence on college campuses saying that they're calling Turning Point Target Practice USA.
That's messed
posting
up.
photos of us with red X's on our face, with dots on our neck. So how are you to
Who's
say?
they, though? Like random unhinged people? Do you think unhinged
Random
people exist
unhinged
on both sides?
Where are all the assassinations then? Where are all of the shootings? Where is all of this? It seems like it's not sticking very hard, no?
Random
Do
unhinged
you think
leftists.
unhinged right-wing supporters exist or no?
Absolutely. I think there's some on both sides, but that's why I'm saying you can't say forcible suppression of the opposition is tagged only onto Trump because that's coming from the left side as well.
Okay, let me ask you then.
Not from
I'm going to ask you the same
political
question that I
leaders,
asked Scotty. When Donald Trump sent a True Social post with 3 names in the post, and 2 of those names have been indicted over the past month, is there any analog to the Biden administration sending out open posts to the Attorney General Merrick Garland and asking people to be indicted?
Nope.
I honestly am not completely knowledgeable on what exactly.
Oh, I just don't know. I haven't heard about it. Oh, I haven't heard about it. I don't know about that one.
Okay, so Donald Trump has spent the past 9 months in office trying to consolidate power among every single institution, not just by appointing loyalists, but by trying to target law firms that are Democratic, universities. Act Blue, which is the main fundraising pack for the Democratic Party, has recently been they're investigating, trying to sue them because they want to take down any mechanism that helps the Democratic Party.
Let's talk about universities.
Is that forcibly suppressing the opposition party when you're trying to?
I don't know if I'd exactly say forcible suppression. It depends on exactly how you're saying it. Because, like we were saying, when you were attaching the term fascist, you're talking about Nazis. You're talking about specifically Nazis. And when they say oppression,
not just Nazis.
I'm saying specifically for what I'm saying. The suppression of the opposition. When they're calling Trump Hitler, they're calling
Who's
conservatives.
they? J.D. Vance?
I'm sorry, leftist. When the leftists,
Which leftist politician? Can you name one?
I think you're moving the goalpost.
Wait,
here.
no. Can
I
you
think-
name one?
You're moving the goalpost. What do you mean? Do I have to name one? Hello? Have you not seen what conservatives are pointing out on Twitter? Idiot.
Leftist politician who is called Trump Hitler.
Nope. Nope.
It's every single. It's like.
So you
not-
shouldn't be
Oh, it's every single one, so it should be easy to name one, right? I love when people do it. This is one of the most common debate meme things I run into where somebody says, there's so many examples of this. Oh, can you give me one? Oh, it's like all of them. Oh, okay, well then just name one. It was like all of them. One example then.
Throwing this out when no leftist politicians have actually called
and you're
Trump
throwing
Hitler.
out the term fascism.
Is saying that an election was stolen when it wasn't fascism? Wait, do you think the 2020 election was stolen?
Yes.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know because I'm
I
not.
don't know. I'm obnoxious. Agnostic, not obnoxious, but obnoxious too.
I'm
And
not
honestly,
the power to
this
find
proves
that
my
out.
point. Trump is causing a rise of fascism in our generation. I would never say that you're a fascist, but I think there's a
is.
normalization of an ideology where people are denying elections. You don't even know if the 2020 election was stolen. This isn't America. The 2020 election was not stolen.
Based.
You've been eliminated by the majority. Could you please return
Thank you.
to
That
the
was great.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So you keep saying Trump is a fascist.
Yep.
You just keep throwing that term around.
I didn't say that. I said he's causing a rise of fascism
Can
in
you
our generation. I would
define?
consider him a fascist.
Define
He's
fascism.
not a fascist because a fascist is one party rule. There's two parties in the United States. It's not one party, and he's not using violence to control power. It's not like after 2028, you're never going to see Trump again. His two-term limit is over. That's not fascism. If you want to see fascism, go to the Middle East. I'm Egyptian. If you want to see fascism, I can show you what fascism is. When the president
Okay, you said
psyops
fascism is one-party control.
Yes.
Donald Trump has spent the past decade acting like the opposition party shouldn't exist. Caroline Leavitt just the other day said the entire Democratic voter base is Hamas terrorists, criminals, and illegal immigrants. Stephen Miller says the Democratic Party is not a party; it is a domestic extremist organization. Donald Trump, wait, listen. Donald Trump has called my side Nats, the enemy within, and people who need to be taken care of. He's tried to get the military to boo Obama and liberals. So Donald Trump, over the past decade, does not want the Democratic Party to exist. That's why they're targeting Act Blue.
So you're
That's why
telling
they're
me,
targeting our
me
fundraising
that
mechanisms.
he doesn't have the right to criticize the Democratic Party at all?
That's not criticism.
Oh, they do the thing. They do the thing. So I can't put my dick on a person? So it's illegal. You're saying it's illegal for me, right? Some guy goes into the hospital, his face is completely fucked up. You beat the shit. Oh, so just curious. Let me peace code here for a second. Do you apply the standard everywhere? Have you ever put your hands on somebody before? And it's like, well, no, not unless I'm like fighting them or I know them or I'm like, oh, really? Well, let's watch this stream clip here. And it's a clip of you walking into like a bar or whatever and seeing like or some guy and you like shake his hand. It's like, did you know that guy? Well, no, I didn't. Okay, well, you reached forward and you shook his hand, right? You didn't know him that well. It's like, okay, but this is a different thing. Oh, so now it's illegal to touch somebody, right? It's like every retarded debate. This is so retarded. This is so dumb. I'm glad my computer's going to get here. I'm going to find more games to play because fuck politics. It's so dumb.
The Democratic Party.
This is such. It's so unserious.
Targeting
You can't criticize people now.
Act Blue.
So you're
That's why they're
telling me-
You
targeting-
should just start masturbating in these. We should whip it out and start fucking jerking off and say, if you don't like it, just don't look at me, bro.
You're
fundraising
telling me that
mechanisms.
he doesn't have the right to criticize the Democratic Party at all?
That's not criticizing the party. That's using your power to take down their
Okay,
What
fundraising
the fuck
doesn't
did I
the
come to
Democratic
this?
Party-
Oh,
They tried
never
to impeach him twice.
And also-
isn't that fascism?
wait.
Why are you trying to
Wait,
That's
hold-
fascism when you impeach somebody.
He's acquitted
Hold
twice.
up. You think it's fascism to go through the proper
No,
processes to
I know
impeach
I think
somebody?
what is
Wait a minute.
When one party controls the narrative, when you had Twitter, you
Wait a
got all
minute.
that- you got all the
Just go
social
back
media-
one second.
No, no.
Impeaching somebody is not fascism. Impeaching somebody is
Yes,
going
but
through the proper
deliberately
processes.
making a false narrative around him. That's what they did.
Oh, if you want
That's
to
what
talk
they
about
did.
false
No,
narratives,
they
let's
did a
talk about
false
the 2020
narrative.
election, because
Habibi,
you
listen,
came in
listen.
here- listen,
Listen,
you
calm
came in
down,
here-
calm down.
Calm down.
Like, take a deep breath.
You've cut this guy off so many times. Why are you?
One party.
How does he need to calm down?
Talking points. I'm so sorry.
Listen. You know, take a deep breath. So when you have a party,
Bro, you're literally sweating. You're out here like fucking like you're in Egypt right now, bro. Okay, calm down. Take a deep breath. You're pressed.
party controlling the narrative on social media, and they were telling when there was pre-COVID.
Wait, who owns Twitter right now? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, but
Who's
that's
bought
free.
TikTok? Right wingers. Who owns Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay,
Meta.
but they
So
switched
what
the
do you mean?
narrative. They switched the narrative based on who's in power. So right now you got Trump, right? You're saying he's a fascist. Is that
If
your claim?
Donald Trump
What's your
could
claim? That America's gonna be a
They switched the narrative based on who's in power. So then how were Democrats ever in control? If anything, you're just making an argument for the social media companies being in control. Because if they switched the narrative based on who's in power, why would you ever let the opposition party gain power? What?
fascist nation? Is that your claim?
No, my claim is that Trump is causing a rise of fascism in our generation. And you know what? Sitting in this room proves it because you guys
No,
are all
it's
blind
not,
to the
it's not.
fact.
Because
You're
you haven't
blind to
been
the
to
fact that
have you been to the Middle East?
I'm
Have you
Syrian,
been
but I haven't been to the Middle East.
Okay,
No.
I've been to the Middle East. Have you seen fascism in Syria when they're killing Christians just because they're fake?
Oh
That's fascism.
my
That's
God.
fascism. Someone just
God.
killing people.
Listen.
Is he
Oh,
Trump
it's a
killing
someone
people?
just claimed
white
that fascism
guy.
can only
It's
lead
a
to another
white
broader
guy. By the way, you want to know the biggest indicator of a person's whiteness? And sometimes, and this is what I love again about whiteness, and whiteness was a concept, by the way, the SJWs were totally white. Whiteness is a concept that's created to exclude people, okay? This guy is white. You can tell they're white anytime some retarded motherfucker opens their mouth and it's like, we need to talk, okay, about violence, okay, in the Middle East, okay, against Christians. Oh my God. Every time. Come on, bro. Of all the, that's what you're gonna focus on? Why? Of all the things to focus, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Now you guys understand this. Okay, thank you. Thank God you guys understand it.
It means
okay,
fascism is attributed to those people because they kill people. They kill people. Trump is not killing
Fascism
anyone.
doesn't just mean you kill
yes,
people.
it's one party signing everyone off, and they're trying to control
Do you
the
think
whole
if Donald Trump
population.
had it? Do you think if Donald Trump and Stephen Miller had it their way, they would let the Democratic Party exist, or do you think they would go after opponents, fundraising mechanisms, et cetera, et cetera? Which one?
No, what Trump is doing
Boss,
is
you've been eliminated by the group.
No answer.
You've made
No
26.
answer
Thanks,
to any question ever. Based. King. That guy's a king, by the way.
Damn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Adam. Ethan.
Ethan.
So I want to get started with talking about how you're saying, sitting in this room with all of us who are blind to the truth or whatever is proving your point about the rise of fascism, it seems that you are doing exactly what people have been saying and applying this slavery.
Oh, you're saying that we're all wrong because we're biased? Ironic. Doesn't that make you also biased?
Needlessly to so many conservatives, like painting with a broad brush. And it makes me wonder if you really use fascism in the way, in like how the word means, or if you're using it as like a manipulation technique to silence opposition.
My intention is never
Manipulation
ever to
technique.
paint an entire party as fascist or anyone in this room as fascist. I
should.
don't think anyone is. But I think that there's a blindness and there's a normalization of fascism. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Was the 2020 election stolen or was it not? Was it legit?
I'm not
don't
sure,
know.
but can I ask you a
See,
question?
no, that's
Wait,
scary.
I'm not sure. Then you're saying, oh, okay, just curious. Does your dad like to fuck little children? Are you agnostic on that? Because you don't know, right? You haven't even known your dad his whole life, right? Because he was alive for 20, 30 years before he had you, right? So I'm just curious. Would you answer that question with the same level of fairness, right? I don't know if my dad fucks kids. I'm not sure. He might have before he had me. Maybe. Who knows, right? Answer that question. That should be the follow-up every time. Every time that should be the follow-up.
do you think elections can be stolen?
Let me finish
Do you
my
think it's
point.
impossible for elections to be stolen?
Oh, is it? He should hit him up with the piece. Are you saying is it logically impossible? Like I would have to, contradiction would have to be entailed by this. Like, bro, what a fucking, this is so retarded.
Of course, but in the United States, Donald Trump then took 60 court cases, 60 cases of election fraud. He lost every single
he
one
went to the
except
courts
one.
legally?
After he went to the courts legally, what he did is that didn't work. So then
Right.
he called election officials. You know Brad Raffensperger from Georgia. Have you heard this phone call?
I have, yeah.
He said, "Can you find me 11,000 votes?" After that didn't work, he tried a fake.
I think you're
Wait, no, listen.
speculating a lot on what he meant on that phone
Okay,
call.
but then after that, he tried a fake elector scheme. You've heard of this, right? He tried to gather fake electors in 7 states to override the real electors. After that,
Didn't they do that with Hawaii?
January 6th happened. I know everyone's going to sigh at this, but do you know what was happening inside the Capitol on January 6th?
What was happening?
Do
They
you know
were
what was happening
certifying
inside the
the
Capitol?
They were like ratifying or affirming like the election.
Mike
Yeah.
Pence was certifying the
Yeah,
results of the
certifying,
election.
thank you.
And what were the people chanting outside? There was a group of people chanting, "End Mike
Yes.
Pence." So
Okay,
wait, when
you're-
Trump, wait,
I don't even care if he ripped these points for me. A lot of these are my points. They're good. They're good points. Hell yeah. It's so funny because wait. Who was I debating? Was it that one fat retard where I was like, who did I debate? Where I was like, what were they chanting outside? And he was like, oh, I don't remember. It's like, weren't they chanting like revolution or whatever? And we are like, maybe. And it's like, what was like what was my question? It was like, what was the Revolutionary War? Would you consider that like, would you consider the Revolutionary War like an insurrection or a revolution or rebellion or whatever? Maybe that was it. And the guy's like, well, no. It's like, what? This is the point you have to be married to now? Or, was it 1776? And I was like, would you consider 1776 like a rebellion or insurrection? Like, no. It's like, okay, bro, if that's where we're at, okay.
But wait, let me finish.
Okay,
When
sure.
Trump said the election was stolen before it even happened, and then he stood on stage when 50% of the votes were counted and said, "I won this election," and then he calls election officials, and then on January 6th, the day they're certifying the vote,
Okay, I
people
think I'm
rioting.
getting-
Oh, also, if anybody's listening that goes on these events, this is also a good point too. And I've been reminded of this a few times. I always forget to bring it up. Trump did not say that the 2020 election was stolen, that was the only one. He also said that in 2016, they rigged it too, even though he still won. He said 2020 was stolen, and he also said in 2024, they rigged it too. Remember that. He said that every single election that he's participated in has been rigged in some way. Remember for 2016, he said that they would have, I think he was like, we would have won every single state if they hadn't rigged it. And he said that it was the Hillary 2 million or 3 million votes or whatever. He said were fake votes. They put together a commission to find it. They found nothing, by the way. He might have said the same about midterms. But yeah, basically every single election that Trump's been alive for and politically active for, he said has been rigged or stolen, or there's been massive fraud, the amounts of which would be greater than any fraud in every single U.S. election put together in all of U.S. history, by the way. Oh, wait, was this? All of these, by the way, before the votes were counted, or before the votes were even cast, that they were going to rig
You
these.
guys filmed this
Kamala
from start
has
to
changed the
finish.
story.
We can
Kamala
watch
has
you
changed the
guys
story.
cheering for it. We can watch you cheering 1776. What was 1776?
I know you hate 1776.
Wait, I'm
I know
curious.
you hate
What
that.
was 1776? What was that?
That was the founding of the country.
What was it? What was the event? What would you call that?
When we overthrew royalty and created
Against the government, would you call
created
it
a constitutional republic.
Would you call that an insurrection?
No.
No. 1776. The revolutionary. You wouldn't call that an insurrection?
So are you pro-insurrection now? You just babble and stammer so much I can't figure out where you're at. Tell me what kind of an insurrection when an emergency notice goes out to go home.
No. Okay, good one, Chief.
Okay, so do you get what I'm saying?
I think I get what
And
you
now I'm sitting in a room of
but
people who don't even know if
Can I
it's
speak
stolen
for a
or not.
second?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about that report that came out showing that there was like 274 FBI informants in the crowd in January?
Oh my God. People who have at one point in time said to the FBI, this doesn't prove anything. At any huge 100,000 person wide event, there's going to be people in the crowd who have probably informed the FBI or worked with the FBI in some capacity. What you're trying to say is that they incited it. We have thousands of videos from outside the Capitol. If all these people were involved in inciting, all of these FBI people were involved in inciting the riot, show one video of it. Just one. All you have is rate-ups.
I think that it's hilarious that Trump sent out a tweet saying Biden's FBI did that when it was Trump's FBI.
Okay,
wait, whose FBI
Trump's
was that?
FBI, the same FBI that literally like colluded against him with Russiagate.
No, whose FBI was this in 2020?
It was.
2021,
I
sorry.
mean, it was the FBI under Trump. But
Okay, so it was the
had no
FBI under
allegiance to
Trump.
Trump.
So how do you feel about Trump's FBI doing that then?
How do you feel about the whole Russiagate thing that the FBI peddled to like try and frame a sitting
Topic
president
switch.
for treason?
What's
dude?
your source
Topic
for this?
switch.
Dude, the Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh,
the
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, the
is your
director
source.
of national
Donald Trump doesn't even trust Tulsi Gabbard to be
intelligence.
inside on some of these like Iran
Dude,
conversations.
the director of
Donald
national
Trump-
intelligence, who's over the CIA and FBI, did a press conference and released a bunch of documents. And she said,
I've
"Hey,
read
here's
the
what we found
documents. They
about."
don't say what she says they said. Donald
They
Trump had 4 years
absolutely
during his
do.
first term. No, they did not. There was no Russia collusion.
They
Donald Trump was
found
not
no
pinned-
credible evidence that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia to influence the 2016 election.
Literally,
and they
his
pursued that
campaign
for
manager-
years and years to try to frame him for treason, dude.
His campaign manager was literally arrested for colluding with the Russians at one point in 2016. I wouldn't say Trump did. But
Metaphor.
the Tulsi Gabbard report that you're citing is not saying what you think it says.
I mean, it's in the documents that she released. People can read it for themselves.
Yeah.
And furthermore, it's not just that, but you had like the deputy director of the FBI.
Wait, so who tried to pin Trump for treason? Like who exactly was this?
Comey.
You got to be specific with your claim.
It was the
And Hillary.
FBI and the CIA and former Obama administration officials that were investigating the Trump campaign leading up to the election.
If they were so powerful, all these people were working together to pin all of this on Trump, why didn't they? If they were willing to do all of this hoax, collusion, making up bullshit stuff, why didn't they? Where is the indictment then? Why not just make it up? If you've gone that far, why not just make it up? Wait, what?
You've been eliminated by the majority.
Nice to meet you.
That was a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey there, Adam.
How you doing?
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Well.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right. Well, I guess I have a few questions.
Sure.
I want to start with, you seem to be kind of in newsland, and I kind of want to come back down to reality.
Sure.
So I'm a college student at UC Berkeley. I've had a student, it's documented online on Instagram, come up to me after class, vaguely threaten me, and say a bunch of stuff.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Sorry about
university
that.
does absolutely nothing. I filed a report, I did everything.
Vaguely threaten me? Wait, what does that mean? Why he should ask for what was the message?
Wasn't even removed from my classes. And this is all documented and up online. So I, as a student, don't have the freedom to go share my opinions. The day Charlie Kirk died, we requested security. The university turned down our request for security. These are the real examples of fascism that we see every single day.
Are you trying
That's
to equate
fascism?
one random
No,
college
no.
student? Wait, no, hold on. Are you trying to equate one random college student who I condemn,
No.
who I think is with Donald Trump using his power to try to consolidate as much of... No, you're not. Okay, so what are you trying to say?
So I'm trying to say that there's a system of the university here that's set up against
By
conservative
system, do you mean one student?
No, I mean that there's a system that I reported this person to and nothing happened.
that's
This is part
fascism to you.
This is part and parcel. Well, it's stifling conservative speech on campuses. And my point here is, and we saw back in the 2020 election, the suppression of the Hunter Biden story. I don't think the election was actually, ballots were thrown in and it was rigged. I don't believe that.
So you think... So wait, you do or you don't? Sorry.
I do not believe that.
You don't
I
think
do
the
not
election
believe
was stolen? There's probably a few people here who disagree with you. Does that worry you at all?
I think it's slightly worrying, but
It's slightly worrying that people think the election was stolen because they were
I think it's
convinced
much more
by the
concerning
president.
that when I table on my campus, I have students telling me that Charlie Kirk deserved to die, throwing up L's in my face, laughing
Listen,
at me.
that's terrible, but you can't equate one or a few random students.
You're
with the-
equating four
Listen,
four
the
people who
president
just
of the
said that.
United States convinced a large portion of the country the election was stolen when it wasn't.
So
I
what's
highly
specific
condemn
claim?
these random... Okay, I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You're saying that this is fascism. Can
Yeah.
you provide your definition
So
of
this
mine
is
is
small
nullified?
scale. So I would say there's a few definitions. I think all of them are
Do you
pretty
like
valid.
mine? Bullying.
Can you repeat your character? Actually, I want to pause because you wanted to talk about the rise of
Yeah, you
fascism,
go for
and
it.
that's what I have the
In our
biggest problem
generation.
with. Because your claim isn't that Trump is a fascist. Your claim is that Trump has contributed to the rise of fascism.
yeah, that's
Why
better,
do
yeah.
all the fascist people in American politics hate Donald Trump? Why did Fuentes not vote for Donald Trump? Why did all the people who are openly claiming, Mehdi Hassan, you saw that Jubilee surrounding?
I was gonna say, wait a minute,
Why
that-
do all these people who are openly admitting that they're fascist? Why does not a single one of them support Donald Trump?
They are openly admitting that they're fascist, and a lot of them do support Donald Trump. Number one,
no,
the people in that
I have
episode were
spoken with these
conservatives. Number one, but number
Conservative,
two,
not Republican. They don't vote Republican.
But also, what about the Politico story that released?
Okay,
Did
so
you
now
read
we're changing
that?
the point.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
I
no.
understand.
Wait,
You
wait.
change the point, that's
I'm
all
not
right.
changing the point. You
This
asked.
is.
No, no. You asked me. Unless you want to contain it to one
Let's
Jubilee
go.
episode.
Go to the.
Let me finish. Unless you want to contain the people we're talking about to one Jubilee episode, young people, not only young Republicans but young conservatives, sure, they are turning to fascism at a high rate. Do you condemn what was in that group chat?
What group chat? Oh, the
The
YR
Politico
group
group
chat.
chat. Yeah.
I would personally condemn what was said in that group chat.
And what was said in that group chat?
If it
Wait,
was-
can you tell me what was said in that group chat?
Yeah,
I
so
would
they described black people
personally-
as watermelon people. They
Why
said
did
they
he
love Hitler.
hedge
They
that
said
so
a lot
much?
of.
Wait, what do they say about gas chambers?
They said if you don't vote for me, you're getting sent to the gas.
Okay, wait a
chamber.
minute. And these weren't just young Republicans. These were like 20, 30, 40-year-olds,
Okay, can I
correct?
respond?
No, these were 20, 30, 40-year-olds, and some of them were state senators. So younger people seem to be inclined towards fascism. You can respond. I'm sorry.
Okay, younger people seem to be inclined toward fascism. Yes, and all these people don't like Donald Trump.
Those were young Republicans,
Let me
dude.
finish speaking, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a reaction.
Got him.
All right, thank you.
Later. No response for you. Later, bitch. Later.
Ooh. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Sarah. So I'm a lot more concerned about the rise of violent left-wing rhetoric among Gen Z than so-called fascism, because I'm sorry, if you think like
Left-wing
that
rhetoric?
chat was any sort, like that meant that fascism is on the rise, it's like you've never been at Call of Duty lobby. Like, it's called making edgy jokes, okay?
Wait a minute. You make
And-
those types of jokes?
They're not jokes, though. Oh my God. Whoa, shit. Hold on. My inner incel just fucking flared up when this person who's never been in a Call of Duty lobby in their life just talked about Call of Duty lobbies. Oh my God. Whew, hold on. I just got a flash of white woman hatred in me for a second. But that's not what this is. Okay, this is political conservative hatred. Okay.
I don't personally, but like that's like every young man ever has like made a joke
raise
like
your
that
hand
in
if you make those
private.
types of
Let's be
jokes.
for real. Like,
okay, so no one will actually admit it because it's kind of weird to make those types of jokes.
everyone makes those types, and that means you have like no male friends if you've like never been in a room where people
my male
like,
friends
say the N-word as a joke. Like it's
no,
like
my male
everyone,
friends.
There's a difference in setting. Like you must understand that, right? That significantly changes how you would view the context of those jokes. If some guy's in a lobby, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw you a fucking gas chamber. I fucking hate you," whatever, because they're in a fucking video game lobby. Fine, whatever. Yeah, you can argue whether you should or shouldn't say it. I think edgy jokes are bae, so go for it. But there'd be a big difference between that versus like a teacher who has a kid who like doesn't do their homework on time, and the teacher's like, "Oh, you're fucking late all the time with your fucking homework, Johnny. I'm gonna throw you the gas chamber." That's not the same thing, right? I think the context and where you're making these jokes kind of matters a little bit, just a little bit.
does that, and you know it's true, and it's like, if
No,
not, you're probably
not
surrounded
everyone
by
does
like
that.
homosexuals.
Okay, my male friends and I tell each other to like kill themselves. We do funny
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Oh, that's so shocking. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but we don't
It's
say
like, but there's a difference there, okay? A white dude getting killed in a video game and screaming the N-word is a lot different than people in a group chat being like, I actually think that Jews are engaged in a mass migration scheme to replace all of white people across the entirety of the Western world so that Israel can take over. It's like, bro, you don't make edgy jokes sometimes? Oh, so you don't believe that? Well. Like, oh, so you're not joking.
Joke.
We don't say
and the difference
off to the
is
gas
that
chamber.
The difference is that young leftists genuinely worshipped the murder of Charlie Kirk and Luigi Mangione, who are people committing genuine acts of violence, and they genuinely condone that. So that's the big difference, because, I mean, I saw literally graffiti on college campuses saying,
Okay, the Luigi Mangione thing, that is weird and bad, and you guys are weird and cringe and losers for celebrating it. However, basically every constituency in the United States celebrated this fucking Luigi Mangione shit, except for like fucking neocons, okay? Because I'm pretty sure even fucking MAGA tier, especially younger people, are like, oh, fuck yeah, fuck large corporations. Because it's not like these guys are huge corporate defenders or whatever. Like, I remember Ben Shapiro's comment section when Ben Shapiro was like, guys, we probably shouldn't be encouraging random students to, or random kids to be murdering CEOs. And his whole comment was like, Ben, you're out of touch with the American public. We need to murder every healthcare CEO.
all Charlie Kirks. They are inciting violence, and that is a totally like normalized thing to say to like celebrate the fact. And that's serious, and the political group chat was a joke, and you know that.
Okay, so your concession is that, you know, people talk like fascists in private sometimes, but you're worried that leftists are using increasingly violent rhetoric like the people you were talking about.
Because
Luigi
one thing
Mangione
is serious
supporters.
and one thing is a joke.
Okay, I want to ask you one thing. Did one Democratic politician support what Luigi did? Can you name any actual Democratic politician?
No, but it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
so
because
on the
we're
other
talking
side,
about the rise of immigration. You're not
No.
talking about politicians in
No,
this
no,
state. You're
I am
about the
talking
rise.
about politicians as well. So on the other side,
now you're
let me clarify.
What about young leftists? What about the violence that young leftists?
Let me
condone?
clarify very, very quickly.
That's
So you're
way
trying to
more
point to young
widespread,
leftists on the left, but on the right, there are politicians in power. People like Stephen Miller, who says the Democratic Party is a domestic extremist organization. Caroline Levitt, just the other day, as I said that the entire base is Hamas terrorists and criminals. So when you have people in power on the right, wait, they're using this rhetoric and normalizing it that goes downstream.
And you have left-wing media like MSNBC cheering backstage when Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Wait, you think people are being murdered because of MSNBC? You think MSNBC is radical?
Yes, I do.
You think MSNBC is radical?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think is radicalizing more people, Nick Fuentes or MSNBC?
Probably MSNBC.
Really? More so than Nick Fuentes. I guess someone laughing behind me. That's kind of, But also, there's a fundamental difference between people in power using rhetoric and random leftists. Listen, I'm a young liberal.
You know, Don Lemon just told people to shoot ICE agents. Don Lemon just told illegal brown people to grab guns so they can shoot ICE agents when they show up at their door. Is Don Lemon not someone in a position of power?
Did he really say that?
Do you condone
Did he really say that?
Do you condone that?
No, you should not shoot ICE agents. He said that you should have a weapon in your house. Don't you support the Second Amendment?
Not for illegal immigrants because they're not allowed to legally own firearms.
Can I clarify something? Can I clarify? He was talking about citizens because he said they were arresting and detaining citizens. So if you watch that clip, he was saying citizens. I hope there's one of those fact checks on screen because he was saying they're detaining citizens. So really, they're arresting and detaining citizens.
Because you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen. Isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for?
Citizens. So if you watch that clip, he was saying citizens. I hope there's one of those fact checks on screen because he was saying they're detaining citizens. So really quickly,
citizens wouldn't need to be like shooting ICE agents.
I don't think anyone should shoot ICE agents.
That's the most fucking libcuck argument ever against the Second Amendment. What do you need a gun for unless you're a fucking criminal? Oh my God, bro. I don't even know. It's not even like a horseshoe. It's like a Down syndrome horseshoe. It's like deformed itself into agreeing with the most retarded parts of the left. What the fuck?
But he was number one. I'm not Don Lemon. I'm not Don Lemon.
That's a ton. No, we're saying left-wing people openly incite violence.
Can I just clarify very quickly? I'm a young liberal, and I completely wholeheartedly condemn anyone on my side who is number one, talking poorly about Charlie Kirk. Number two, saying insane stuff.
Talking poorly about Charlie? Okay, you're giving way too much ground there. Okay, fuck Charlie Kirk.
Then half your party. Do it.
Oh, you think? Okay, can you name one Democratic person in position of power who said something about Charlie Kirk that was?
Yeah, I just said like half of the people on MSNBC. We saw the video
the
second he died. I don't know because they're off camera. We heard the cheers the second he died.
On your side.
Oh wait, I feel like I know what she's talking about. Or maybe I don't. Wasn't there a, it wasn't MSNBC though. Wasn't there like a TMZ thing where I think somebody on a channel said something about how Charlie Kirk had just been shot, and I think you hear some people in the background laughing, but they were doing a different show or something, and they were talking on that show, and somebody made a joke and they were laughing. I don't think they were laughing in response to Charlie Kirk. I'm pretty sure there was like a ton of stuff that was released about this. This was not them all laughing at Charlie Kirk being shot and killed. That was a TMZ clip, which is a Fox show, and the people laughing when they're watching. Yeah, I don't think... I don't think that this is... I feel like I would have heard this. There were people cheering in the background. We saw the clip a few days ago. I think this is what she's referring to. Unless there was something else I missed.
We were
Our Charlie
live streaming
Kirk.
all day during this tragedy.
This is how the video is supposed to look, by the way.
When something happened in our office, as we were reporting the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there were some people in the back room away from our news desk here who were watching a car chase. And they were laughing, they were clapping, and you could hear it out here. And we want to make a couple of things clear. One is that I know these people, and they were not laughing, they were not reacting that way about Charlie Kirk's assassination. They were not. They would not work here if they did.
And that being said, we acknowledge that it was horrible timing. And for that, we are sorry.
We apologize.
I'm sorry
we apologize that you had to hear that.
And I get why, if you were watching the stream, you may have felt that that's what the laughter was about. We assure you, it was not about that, but it was horrible timing. And
by the way, I get it too, and he gets it because we listened as we were talking.
you can go back and look on the stream. I actually walked off camera to go back and find out what the hell was going on because it was inappropriate for the laughter at that time. But no one.
And I can name Mike Lee, who made fun of Melissa Hortman after she died. I can name Donald Trump and Don Jr., who made fun of Nancy Pelosi. So just to back up, there's a normalization of this type of ideology happening in our politics, and it's due to people like Donald Trump. Okay.
We saw Luigi Mangione as a sex symbol.
Pause. Time out. We're done with this claim, so we need to move on to the next claim.